Yeah, pretty simply, we're just not coming to play. We're sort of minus 20 contested possession the last 5 weeks at quarter time. So that talks about your mindset and attitude coming in the game. And then, majority of guys just aren't playing their role and playing it to the standard that you need to win games of AFL footy. So, put simply, they're two things that really stand out. And I think, the other thing we talked about last night were just the little things, during the week that sort of add up and lead into your performance in the game. So it might be things around training standards, recovery, just all those little things that we need to get better at as a group, where elite groups do it. They sort of add up and make a big difference come game day. So, 3 themes that we talked about last night, and it was good to be really open and honest with each other and really good to give some good feedback amongst the group.
You've been through the highs, the lows, everything in between at the club. This must feel like a...
Yeah, 100%. I don't think I've been in a team that's been this non-competitive. So that's to put it simply. And as an old guy and senior guy, when you're not playing as well as you could be, you really take that to heart. So be under no illusion the playing group's really hurting, and it's not like we're going out there and not trying on purpose. We're just not putting it out there, and that burns us. So we need to get better as a whole group, and it starts with the old guys, and that's what was said last night. When you've got your 10 best players not playing well, you can't expect the young blokes to come in and carry the side. So we're under no illusions. We've got to get better, and we're a while off the mark, as I said before.
Can that change in a hub? Like, is this a good environment for that sort of turnaround to happen, or is it a bad place to be?
Yeah, well, I think it starts with the conversations we had last night. We were pretty honest with how we're going as a club, and it's good to be in a hub because you've got opportunity to be around each other and have those conversations, and now we've got time to work on purely footy. We've got no other distractions, and that's what was said last night. We've got plenty of time to turn things around, and I suppose the point we made last night as well, it's not just going to happen overnight. When you're this far off the mark, it takes weeks, months to be able to build those habits up and get better and better. So we're a young group. We've also got some experience there that just needs to get back on track and be better than we are.
Did you address the off-field stuff that's been going on, swirling around the club, and whether or not that's proving to be a distraction for players and weighing them down?
No, we didn't. That's got nothing to do with us, to be honest. We're so far off the mark with our footy that the off-field stuff that's for sort of the board and everything else to deal with. But as players, we've got bigger issues at the moment. We're not coming and playing our role, and that's our job. It's not the rest of the stuff's distraction. For us, it's about what we put out on the field, and we didn't address that. I'm sure the club will, but as players, we've got a job, and our job's to go out there and beat our opponent and play our role, and we're not doing that. So that's our first focus, and we're going to really simplify it back and go after that for the time being.
Is there any frustration that Mark Rashudo's carrying on with Hugh Greenwood last night? As a board member of the club, is it frustrating to see after a big loss a guy like Roo, engaged in something as trivial as carry on Twitter?
Look, I'm not going to go into that. It's sort of not our role, as I said before, so I'm just going to stay away from that one. That's for those guys to sort out. As I said, we had a real honest chat last night, and what we spoke about is what we can control, and as players, that's playing. So I'm going to leave all that stuff for today. I know you want a different answer, but it's got nothing to do with us, to be honest.
You talk about having a real honest chat. I mean, you had a disappointing result in the showdown. Was there chats after that? I mean, how do you stop talking and actually sort of turn it around, I guess?
Yeah, well, that's what I said. It's about the little things, and they all add up. So you can have these chats, but if you're not doing it by your actions at training, your recovery, being really focused on what you need to do when you come out, you get what you get in these first quarters, and it's a lapse, and the opposition team hits you, and from there it's too hard to come back. So whether it was attitude or intent last night, I'm not sure, but we didn't come out with the right, I suppose, hunger to compete, which is disturbing because it's been a trend the last 5 weeks. So we addressed that last night. We know it's there. We're not hiding away from that fact, and we just got to get better, as I said. So yeah, it's harder to do, as you said. It's harder to do, and we're talking about it. And I know everyone wants action, and we do as well. But it's going to take time. You know, we got to get better, and it takes weeks to be able to get better. And you're not going to see results after one. It's 3-4 weeks of training those habits, turning those little things around, and yeah, I hope we get the results on field soon, because going out there and losing by 80 points is, as I said, as an older guy, it's just disheartening. So, yeah, look, we'll be doing everything we can in the next few weeks, and the senior guys will be driving it to just get better.
How did young guys come in? There's been a lot of talk there, injecting youth, rejuvenating the leagues, getting these young kids in. But some of them really struggled yesterday. I guess, how are they taking
Yeah, look, I think some of our young guys were actually our better players yesterday. As silly as it sounds, I know there's been a lot of talk about they're not going as well as other clubs, but when you're an 80-point loss as a young bloke, it's so hard to, come out and really dominate. So it starts with your senior players, and they're the ones that have got to set the tone. So let's not put it on the young blokes. The old blokes need to get better and lead the way, and then the young blokes follow. That's how footy teams work.
Just on the inverse, Tex, just the 6 touches yesterday, pretty quiet day for him. I guess you need a response from him, don't you, in the next couple of games?
Yeah, not just Tex. A lot of our senior guys, through the back line, forward line, and midfield. So it's not just on Tex. There's probably 10 guys in our senior group that are really good AFL footballers, but they're not playing like good AFL footballers at the moment. So we know that, and that was part of the conversation last night. You can have a name, but if you're not putting it out there and playing your role for the team, well, you can't play on your reputation forever. So we're under no illusion that the senior guys got to be the senior portion of the group. We've got to be the one to drive it and lead the way.
Is it too harsh or too unfair to say now that you're looking down the barrel of it, not getting out of play?
Look, it's tough at the moment. You could say we're nowhere near it, and the reality is we're 0-3 and losing by 80 points each week. So things can turn really quickly. I've said it before, but we need to build that internal culture that we're talking about, and we need to build those habits and get better. And it hasn't been the start to the year that we want, but there are things behind the scene that we're doing really well. It hasn't flowed on the field, but yeah, there's a few things that we can get really better at and demand more of each other as a group. So
why do you think they are? You talk about little bits and pieces that may not be happening on the track. You had a long break to address how you want to come back. Dan Jackson coming to address culture, a big shift. Why do you think there are some things that aren't happening that should be happening?
Yeah, well, look, it's tough. We were away from each other for a long time, and this is a new group, so we haven't been around each other. So it is going to take time for the group to gel. But I think fundamentally it's about our ruthlessness at training, our little habits, our recovery, just all those things that you've got to do time in, time out to make you a good AFL player. We're not doing it consistently. We drop off in areas, and we just need to get better at demanding each other and being more competitive all over the park. That's training, games, demand on each other, all those little things that when you're in a great team you get from all 44 blokes. So we're getting it in spades from guys, but we're not getting it consistently. So I suppose it's tough. We need to put our hands up as players. We're the one that have to drive it. I feel sorry for Nixie at the moment. He's doing everything he can to get the group up, and as a new coach, when we're serving that stuff up, it's pretty tough. So we're going to be better the next few weeks, that's for sure.
What came of sort of your Sloan, Crouch, guys like pretty blue chip sort of players for the club, and worthy warriors that just had their colours lowered repeatedly in the first couple of weeks of the season? What was addressed there?
Yeah, well, look, they're the first to put their hand up. They're down on confidence, as is majority of the group. It's not just those three. So we need to find ways. Those guys, as I said, they're great AFL players, but they're just down on form. And it's not just them. It's a large portion of our group. We probably had maybe 2 or 3 blokes play their role last night out of 20. You're just never going to get a win. So let's not put it on those three. It's majority of the group. So we've got a lot of hard work to do. We need to get better, as I said, and we're going after it the next few weeks. It's the other way it's going to turn around.
When you talk about, well, the boys get a shot at Rat, talk about, people have been saying it's sort of the lowest point in the club's history. Where to from here? It's rock bottom. Do you agree with that assessment?
Well, yeah, it's our performances are. I can't remember a side that's lost by 80 points or 90 points a couple of weeks in a row. So I've been through tough patches before. I think in my first year we might have been 0-6. So things turn around, but you've got to build it, and it takes time. It's like anything in life. Nothing comes quickly. You've got to get better and better when you're at the bottom. It's like starting a job. Start from the bottom and work your way up. So frankly, that's where we're at, and we're not shying away from that. We just need to get better.
Sorry, just to react to that stage training thing, it's pretty unfortunate to injure like that in your milestone games.
Yeah, it's pretty shattering for Rat. He's one of those bubbly guys that we really rely on for energy, and he can bring some spark to games, and to go down your 100th is pretty tough for him. But I think it's just an AC joint at the moment, so he'll get that looked at today, no doubt, and we hope it's all right. We haven't got enough info yet, but at the moment it's an AC joint that's pretty sore, so I think he's got a scan at some point in the next few days, and we'll get the results back then.
And pretty impressive from Brad to solve on with a pretty nasty knock to his head.
Yeah, absolutely. He got through the game, looked pretty nasty, but I'm sure he'll be right. He's a pretty tough guy, so we're certainly going to need him the next few weeks, and need him playing well, as I said before.